The following video is sponsored by vend-co.com. If you are looking for a side hustle or full-time income, invest in vending machines. Vend-co.com has the latest in vending equipment for the lowest price, and they have financing, so be your own boss. Check out their link in the description below. It really helps the channel. Thanks, guys. Good day, everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you how to play Monopoly Star Wars The Mandalorian Edition. The object of the game is you're going to try to have the most amount of credits by the time the game ends. And one thing you want to try to make sure of is that you do not want the child, which everybody is going to be trying to protect, to be captured. If he gets captured, the game is going to end and everybody is going to lose. So we will go ahead and get started. In the very beginning, you're going to go ahead and select the banker, and you're going to go ahead and give him $70 worth of tokens. These are nice. You got ones here that are worth 10, and then you have ones here that are worth 50. And you'll give everybody 5 of these and then 2 of these. You also have what are called Signet Cards, and anytime you land on a Signet space, you're going to go ahead and draw these cards. There's 2 types of cards. There's cards that you're going to be able to keep until later, and then there are also cards that you're going to have to use immediately. I'll go ahead and show you a few of them here. Here's one that says keep this card until you're ready to use it. Double Cross, steal 1 hideout from any player, and these are the hideouts over here, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Here's one that will allow you to collect bounty. Here is an armor upgrade, and this will allow you to re-roll the silver die when you're doing battle with an enemy, which again I will go ahead and talk about. So there's several different types of cards in here. You have 4 different characters from the series that you will be able to choose from. You have Kuiil, you have the Mandolorian, you have Cara Dune, and then you also have IG-11. And in the beginning you'll go ahead and pick one of the characters and place them here on the go space like that. Now on top of that, you're also going to be receiving a character card synonymous with the character that you picked. Each of the characters are going to have 2 unique abilities. They're going to have one ability they'll be able to use normally, and then another they'll be able to use if they are in possession of the child, which again I will talk about. I'll just show you what they are. With Cara Dune, if she passes go, she'll collect 50. Normally in this game you would collect 20. If she has possession of the child, she'll collect 70. For Kuiil, if he buys a hideout, he'll be able to subtract 10 from the payment. If he has a child, when he decides to buy a hideout, he'll subtract 30. With the Mandalorian, he'll end up having to pay less rent, 10 less for this, 30 less for this. And then with IG-11, he'll be able to add 1 to his roll anytime he's battling an enemy. If he has the child in his possession, he will add 3. All these cards have some pretty nice artwork here on the back as well, so you'll grab one of these cards. You also have 2 different types of dice in the game. You have the regular die that you're going to be rolling if you do not have possession of the child, and this die you will roll if you do have possession of the child. This one is numbered 1 through 6, and this one is numbered 1 through 3. Now the child is over here. This is essentially baby Yoda, and you're going to start him here on the just visiting space. And what you're going to be doing is, along with playing the game, you'll be trying to protect the child from the bad guys. You've got the Incinerator Trooper, the Death Trooper, and then Moff Gideon over there. And the way it works is anytime you land on or pass the child, let's just say this character was over here, what I'm going to do is put him next to me and then roll this die. And then what I'm going to do is, whatever I roll, I'm going to go ahead and walk with the child with me anytime I roll this die like so. If you land on or pass a player that has possession of the child, you will then get possession of the child. There are also Signet Cards that will allow you to get possession of the child. If someone lands on free parking, they're also going to take possession of the child. So let's just say this character landed here. He will go ahead and take possession of the child, and then he will have access to his secondary ability. And also the child has a card that has an ability himself. His ability is he'll be able to roll both dice when he is battling an enemy, but whoever has the child is going to go ahead and take this card. I'll go ahead and go over some of the board spaces. You've got your go space. Anytime you pass this, you'll collect 20 in the Imperial bounty. You have a bunch of what are called hideouts. These replace the properties. You've got what's called Imperial Advance. If you land on this, then you're going to roll the silver die, and it is going to activate movement to the Imperial forces. You'll roll, and then you'll move first of all the characters like so, and then this character as well. Now this character, Moff Gideon, is not going to be moving until there's only 1 of these cards left in the deck, or if all of the hideouts have been purchased. So we'll go ahead and go over these cards here that are in the middle. There's 3 decks. This is the Incinerator deck, which goes here. Moff Gideon's card, and then you have the Death Trooper over here. If you land on or pass an Imperial, let's just say this guy rolled a 2, and he had the child with him, you're going to go ahead and draw this card and look, and this is going to signify the battle. This right here says roll 3 or higher to win. If you don't have the child in your possession, you're only going to roll this one die. If you do have the child in your possession, you're going to go ahead and roll both. So since this character has the child in his possession, he's going to go ahead and roll both, and he simply needs to try to roll a 3 or higher. Now, if you happen to have any cards in here that will add amounts to your die roll, you can go ahead and play those first and then activate them as soon as you roll the die. So let's just say I went ahead and I rolled an 8. So I will have won the battle. So you'll look here, and this is what I get for winning. I'll draw 2 Signet cards, I'll keep one and return the other. If I would have happened to have lost that battle, I will have paid 10 to the bank. And let's just say I was the one that did the battle. I will go ahead and take possession of this card. Now, once all of these cards are exhausted from the deck, then whichever character's deck it is going to be out of the game. Now, on both the Stormtroopers decks, you're going to have numbers on the cards, and these simply will signify how many of these cards you're going to use depending on how many players there are. So if there was a 2-player game, I would only have 2 cards in the deck. If it was a 4-player, I would go ahead and use all of them. If one of the Imperials lands on or passes you, I'm not going to have to do a battle. It only happens anytime I pass him. Some of the spaces here on the board, we've got the property cards, of course, which are the hideouts. We have the Signet space. The Imperial Advance, this again is going to advance the different Imperial forces. This is the hyperspace. If you land on this, you will move on to the next unowned property, and there's one there as well. You have the just visiting space over here, which nothing happens. There are a couple of spaces where you'll be able to collect money. Here's one for 30. Here's another one for 30. If you land on the go to jail space, you're going to end up getting sent to jail. If it turns out that you have possession of the child, if you land on that space, then you're going to have to leave the child behind and go to jail. Now, this is dangerous because if the child is left unattended and one of these Imperials happens to land on or pass him, that is automatically going to end the game and everybody is going to lose. So if you want to get out of jail, you can just pay 50 to the bank, roll the die, and get out that way. Or you'll have 3 opportunities to try to roll a 6 on 3 of your turns. If you do so, you'll get out. If you don't, then you'll just simply pay the 50 and move the amount that you rolled. In the beginning, everyone will roll the die, and the person with the highest roll will go ahead and start. They'll roll the die and move their character that amount of spaces. So let's just say we're playing the game, we start, and the first character goes ahead and he rolls a 1. So he moves over here. He lands on this hideout. Now let's say the hideout is unowned. He can go ahead and purchase it for this price over here, and then he will go ahead and take the deed card that comes along with it. Now if another character lands on this, he's going to pay me rent. In this case, let's just say this character landed on me like this. He's going to pay me 10 in rent. If it turned out that I own both of the hideouts in the color set, he's going to pay me 20. We have the go space here, and anytime you land or pass go, you'll collect 20. Now in this game, you're also going to be able to do deals and trades as in standard Monopoly. You'll be able to trade properties, you'll be able to trade Signet cards, buy different things if you would like to. If it turns out that you don't want the property is going to go ahead and go up for auction. And the bidding will start at 10 credits, and then you'll be able to bid in increments of 10 or higher, and whoever wins the auction will go ahead and get the hideout. Now, if it turns out you end up landing on, say, a property or something like that, and you don't happen to have enough money to pay either the bank or the player, the first thing you're going to do is you're just going to try to sell any of the hideouts that you own. And on the back of the card, it will just simply tell you how to do that. You'll just simply go ahead and give this card back to the bank, and you will collect the amount that is on the board. So in this case, I will go ahead and get 10 credits back. If it turns out that I've given them all my credits on all the properties that I have, then what I will do is try to see if I can sell any of the Signet cards that I have to the players. And even after if I've done all that, I still can't pay. I'm still in the game. You don't go bankrupt in this game. With Moff Gideon, if you end up having to battle him, if you end up beating him, you're going to collect $100 from the bank, and that is going to end the game. If you end up losing, then you're going to immediately go to jail. And if you happen to have the child in your possession, then the game is going to immediately end, and again, everybody is going to go ahead and lose. But if the game ends and it's because Moff Gideon got defeated, everybody's going to go ahead and collect one more round of rent for all of the hideouts that they own. So let's just say I happen to own this, I'll get 10 for that, I'll get 10 for that if I own that, and so on and so forth. Whoever ends up having the child in their possession is going to receive 100. And everybody's going to go ahead and count up all of their Signet cards that they have in their possession as well. Whoever has the most is going to receive a bonus 50 credits. If it happens to be a tie, whoever has the most hideouts is going to end up getting the 50. Everyone is then going to count up all of their credits, and whoever has the most amount is going to win the game. And that, folks, is Monopoly Star Wars The Mandalorian.